How's it going, everybody? Doing a gum chewing collection vid today. It's going to be my Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo collection, as well as the Super Famicom games I've gotten. Just combine them all. So it's a little bit longer of a video. I have 8 of each at the moment right now. Well, 8 Genesis and 8 between Super Nintendo and Super Famicom. I do want to extend this out a bit. I've been playing like no Xbox One, and I still have a bunch of games I need to play on there, so but I've been really enjoying the old games, so figure I'd do a collection of these two. Maybe do another one in a month or two. When I can gain at least 5 games. At least 5. Maybe more like 10 between them both. Alright, so I'll start with the Genesis ones first. They're like all sport games, so as I've mentioned, Bulls vs. Lakers and the NBA playoffs. Did a gameplay of this one. Classic sport game. This is in the series with Lakers vs. Celtics was the first one. And there was Bulls vs. Blazers. And then NBA Showdown 94 was the last of this kind by EA of that format. Then it went to the NBA Live series where the angle changed. It was on an angle, not side to side. It's a really cool game though, and if you grew up or have any affinity for this era of basketball, it's awesome going back and seeing all the players and stuff. It's really cool. This is the time I grew up, well, actually this one wouldn't have been. The next one would have. I started liking basketball in 7th grade, which would have been 91, 92. I went from there, went pretty hard into basketball for up until like the mid 2000s, and then I started losing interest. And from time to time, I still follow. I'm a Portland Trailblazers fan, so I still do follow them, but I'm not as crazy as I was fan wise as I was when I was a kid. I would lose it. But awesome game though. A lot of sports games on Genesis, more so than the Super Nintendo. But Super Nintendo had good ones too. But Genesis was just stacked. The next one is actually Lakers vs. Celtics in the NBA playoffs. This is the first one. This one only had 8 teams. Well, it had 10 total, but 2 of the teams are the All-Star teams in the East and West. So you didn't even get the full playoffs in this one. You get the full playoffs in Bulls vs. Lakers. And then I want to say Bulls vs. Blazers just had the whole league in it. And NBA Showdown did as well. Another cool one that I need to get that I used to have. I still have the manual. Actually, for some reason, is Tecmo Super NBA Basketball, because that's an awesome one too. And you could simulate the seasons, which I just love simulating seasons. I'm weird like that. That's why I got to get one of the Tecmo Super Balls. But it's a cool game too, and all the guys have signature moves. I think this might be the one, or maybe it's Bulls vs. Lakers, where Tom Chambers dunks from the 3-point line. Everybody's dunking from at least a line in these games. Even people that couldn't even actually dunk. Continue with the basketball. And here's NBA Showdown 94. I only need Bulls vs. Blazers, these games are cheap. So this is one of the 5 I got in a lot. Never played a bunch of this when I was younger. But it's like I said, it's got all teams in it. It still has the same format. I guess they were going to call it Bulls vs. Suns, but they just didn't. But it's cool. Like I said, if you're into this era of basketball, you're going to love these games. And the games just play well. They're very good games. They're very well-made games. This one has some crud on it that I have not cleaned off yet. But definitely cool. NHL hockey is next. These games are also awesome. 94 is my personal favorite. It's my personal favorite hockey game of all time. And 93 as well would be second. This one had the NHL license, but not the player's license, so you just have the numbers. And then NHL 93 was NHLPA 93, which didn't have the league's license, but it had the player's license. Then 94 had the full league and the teams and the players. These games are awesome, though. Just great hockey games. Like, they're just great. 94 is great because it introduced a one-timer. It was just, which changed everything. It just, these games are so cool, man. Still, like I said, they still hold up. I think they introduced Season in 95. Up until 94, it was just playoffs, I'm pretty sure. 95 introduced, you can trade and stuff. Next is one I don't even really care for, but it was in that lot of 5. The Walsh College Football. It looks like the Maddens. So it's just college teams. Obviously, there's no actual players in this. I mean, it's alright. It plays alright, fine. The Maddens don't hold up as well as the basketball games and the hockey games, in my opinion. And the same can be said for this, because I played some of it. It plays exactly the same, but it's just this, I don't know, something's a little off about it. I still want to get a few Maddens, though. Next is Road Rash 2. An absolute classic. Love it. Still love it. Another game that holds up great. I need to pick up 3. I used to have 3, but I still have the case. Or no, I still have the manual. And the original. This one's actually my favorite of the 3 on Genesis. It's just so good. Like I've talked about in the past. When I talked about my what I've been playing video. It's just a racing game where you got to get to the finish line and finish in the top, whatever, 4, I think, gets you money for new bikes and stuff. But players will try to throw you off the bikes. You will smash other people off their bikes with, like, clubs, cattle prods. I think the chain is in this one. I don't know. You can hit into other cars. You can hit into cows that are on the side of the road. Like, anything will knock you off your bike in this. And this game gets pretty fast when you start to get to the better bikes. This game actually gets pretty damn fast. It's awesome, though. They actually made another cartridge that was a shorter one. This is the classic EA Genesis cartridge that had the thing here. I don't even know what this did, if it was just them making tall cartridges and wanted to put the thing there. It's kind of cool, though. The next 2 are actually short cartridges. These are the ones I got from the Play and Trade, which unfortunately is moving to Selden. I was a little disappointed about that. I was looking forward to walking over there more, but unfortunately it's gone now. I was actually really disappointed in that. But anyway, these are 2 I got back in March, like a week before everything shut down. NBA All-Star Challenge, awesome game. I actually originally had this when I was a kid on the Super Nintendo. This is the same game. You get to play. This is a player from each team on it. You know, the cover's got Drexler, Clyde Drexler, Chris Mullin, Patrick Ewing, and Hakeem Olajuwon on it. Each team has a player. And you can, it's 3-point contest, which is actually really fun. 1-on-1, which is fun. Free throws is alright, but you gotta get used to it because it's actually pretty hard. And, 1-on-1 tournament. And horse is the other one. It's a cool game, though. It's just a fun kind of game to throw in and play for a little bit. For me, the 3-point contest is addicting because I was playing against Jordan, and it was like, damn, it took me like 8 times to beat him because he would get like at least 27 points. Reggie Miller's another one that does really well. Mitch Richmond does good. It's a cool game. This was $5. Still got the sticker on it. That's another great Genesis sport game. And here's one I didn't have when I was a kid. But it's Tecmo Super Baseball. I don't even know if I knew this even was a thing. I only knew about Tecmo Super Basketball and Tecmo Bowl. Tecmo Bowl games, Tecmo Super Bowl. They have a hockey one too, which was actually in that Play and Trade. It's cool, you know, once again, you can play through seasons, which I love. I love simulating the seasons, I should say. As for the actual game, I've played some games, it's pretty decent. It's like solid. It's not like as good as like, I think the MVP games were better. Or the Tony La Russa's, and then they turned into triple play. I forget how it went on the Genesis. It's still pretty cool though. This follows the. When did it come out? 94. It does. I think maybe it follows the 93 season. 94 is the strike season. So I don't know when it would have actually come out. If it came out in the fall or if it came out like right before the season started in like March, April. It's still pretty cool though, for sure. And the music in all the Tecmo games is really cool. The music in Tecmo Super Bowl is Tecmo Super Basketball is really good. Anyway, onto the Super Nintendo and Super Famicom games. Indiana Jones' Greatest Adventures. This is one I never played as a kid. I ended up getting it for Christmas last year, I think. Oh, well, 2018, I should say. It's awesome. This game is actually really cool. It's tough in parts, but it's really fun. It plays through the 3 movies. Obviously, Kingdom of Crystal Skull is not in this. But it's really fun. It looks really good. Animations are really good. And it really, it brings back the memories of the movies. It does a pretty good job of recreating, like, levels and stuff that would have been in the movies and stuff. It looks really good. It's just fun to play. I think, did I actually do it? I might have did a gameplay on this. I can't remember. I know I did a gameplay on Super Empire Strikes Back. I don't know if I did one on this, though. It's really good, though. I don't know if there's a repro card. This is another one I got for my birthday a while back. I want to say this is just a straight up repro card. Or if I don't know if the board itself is. But the case and the label are definitely not originals, but it's the same game, whatever. It's Donkey Kong Country. These are games I never played as a kid either. I think there's 3 of them. I've played some of this one in passing. I played a little bit since I've gotten it, but it looks pretty good. It has a weird, back then it probably will look like kind of mimicked a 3D style look. But some people do not like these. Some people absolutely love them, so I don't have much of an opinion. I've played more of the more recent ones that are not made by Rare, like Tropical Freeze and what was the one before that on the Wii? Just Donkey Kong Country Returns, it might have been called. Anyway, here's Populous. This is one of the ones that was in the garage sale that I got from 2 years ago. It's just kind of like a world building type game. I can't really say much about it. I haven't played enough of it. Pretty sure Peter Molyneux, I think I mentioned this, Peter Molyneux, I think, designed this game. The guy who's behind Fable. I just can't really say much about it. It's another one I didn't play when I was a kid, but I ended up getting it for Christmas, I think, on my birthday. Prince of Persia. Most of the Prince of Persia games are cool. These ones are obviously completely different. It's still fun though. It's you gotta jump through things quick before they close, and you gotta jump from like pillar to pillar and whatnot, and you fight some dude and stuff. It's pretty cool. I've actually enjoyed it. I'm up to a part where though I have to step on like a little switch. It opens a door, and then I have to get back there to get through it, and it's hard because there's like jumps you gotta do and stuff, and you gotta be real precise in these games, these older ones for sure. It's still cool, and I've enjoyed it. What I've played from it. And the last one I actually just got in 2 days ago. Fiance and I have been playing it. She likes these games. She has the 2 on the NES, but it's Tiny Toon Adventures Buster Bust Loose. It's pretty cool. You got to get used to the controls a little bit, especially because I need to get an actual Super Nintendo controller because I'm using the Retron controllers, and the button layout's obviously not the same as the Super Nintendo, so it's some of the buttons you got to get used to where they are. It's pretty cool though. It looks good. I got up to the 2nd level. It's pretty tough, so I got to figure it out. But he has like a dash meter you can use, and so you're doing jumps and dashes and stuff. It's actually pretty hectic, but it's pretty cool so far. A little frustrating, but like I said, you got to get used to the controls and stuff. So get back into that a little bit more. And the next 3 are the Famicom games. First one up's the one I got for my birthday. Final Fight 2. I use Hagar, Carlos, and Christy. I think her name's Christy. Never played this one when I was a kid, and I got it on this because this one, well, I got it for my birthday, but it was like $18. It's like closer to $40 for Super Nintendo. There are parts where it's just Japanese in this, but you can follow it. It's not like a Final Fantasy or something where there's a ton of text. Gameplay's good. I got up to level 4, I think. You go to different parts of the country. It was Hong Kong, but I should say parts of the world, not country. Hong Kong was the first level. France was the second. I can't remember what third one was. Third one had little mines and stuff, and you can throw the other guys into it. The mines, they'll walk into it too. Hagar's they have different moves you can do with different kind of like button combinations. He'll do like a spinning pile driver, like I think it's Zangief does it in Street Fighter 2. It's a fun beat 'em up though. It's really fun. People know the Final Fights. Those are like the Super Nintendo ones, even though they were arcade games. But I only want to say Final Fight CD came to the Sega CD, which was like the best version of it on a console. The Super Nintendo original Final Fight had stuff cut out of it. But Genesis had like the Streets of Rage games, which were also really good. But I've had a lot of fun with it so far. I'll probably do a gameplay on this at some point. Super Famicom cassette. This one I did do a gameplay on. UN Squadron, Area 88 over there. UN Squadron here. Awesome game. Another one. You need to know how to read kanji or whatever to get anything out of it. You can play it fully. All the HUD and everything is in English and stuff. And it's just this is one of my favorite games of all time. As I said in that other video, this game is just flat out awesome. It's so fun. Still holds up to this day playing this game, man. It's so good. This is a great shooter. It does get harder. After like the second level, it starts to really get hard, and then it gets like these other kind of shmups. It gets like just insidious how ridiculous it is. It's really good. And once again, I think this was 20 and change after tax on eBay, and this is another one that sells for closer to 40 US. So, if I can play it full and not have to worry about it, I'm going to get this version. And the same thing with the last one, which I've obviously talked about again, ActRaiser. This one's a little tougher because there is more text that I can't read, so I want to learn how to read it. I've been looking online and stuff. Or just get a kanji dictionary, try to figure out some stuff. I paid a little under 12 with this in tax, and this one actually sells for around 42. The second one for the Super Famicom sells real expensive. I mean, it sells expensive here too. The second one does not have the world building parts of it. It's just a side scrolling. This one's side scrolling. You do side scrolling, and then you got to kill the monster. Then you go down to the earth as the angel, and you build huts and people, and you got to help people out do some things. That's where it gets a little tricky with not being able to read the stuff, but you can just go use a FAQ and figure out what you have to do, and it's not that big of a problem. Obviously, but other than that, you can figure out what to do and how to build certain things just by the symbols. And obviously, the side-scrolling levels, it doesn't matter. But it's just a classic. And the music, once again, the music in UN Squadron Area 88 is phenomenal too. This has a great soundtrack. Also, just I don't know how many more Super Famicom games I'm gonna get. I had an idea to get a decent amount, but then I was like, you know what? I wanted to get one of the Final Fantasies, but I'm like, it's gonna be too much. It's gonna be too hard, I think, to understand. Because they're a lot cheaper too. Like, it's crazy how much cheaper they are compared. Like Final Fantasy 4 and 6, 2 and 3. If I wanted to get them on Super Nintendo, like $50, $60, maybe like $40, $50, just the cartridge. Over there, you can get them for like under $10. But the problem is, if I can't read it, it's gonna be. I mean, it might be playable, but I don't know. But anyway, small collection so far of the games for those systems. I'll do an update when I get more. Thanks for checking us out. and have a good day.